Today we're settling a different question: Zorin OS or Ubuntu straight from the source. Which one you should actually pick? This one is interesting because Zorin isn't some unrelated competitor to Ubuntu. It's literally built on top of it. So this is less two rivals and more the original versus the remix. I spent real time with the latest release of each: Ubuntu 26.04 LTS, Resolute Raccoon and Zorin OS 18.1, and I'm walking you through the same 9 categories to tell you exactly where each one wins. And before we get started, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, it really helps the channel grow. Alright, let's get into it. Both give you a live session first install so you can test your Wi-Fi, check your hardware and poke around before committing anything to disk. Ubuntu's installer has been rebuilt in recent releases and now feels generally modern, clean steps for language, keyboard, network and disk setup with an easy erase disk and install option along with the manual partitioning for the people who want control. Ubuntu 26.04 also ships an official ARM64 desktop ISO for the first time, so it's no longer just an x86 install for most people. It now covers ARM-based laptops too. Zorin's installer is built from the same Ubuntu's foundation underneath, so the flow is nearly identical step for step. First time you log in, the desktop already looks like something you recognize instead of stock GNOME. Install time is roughly the same on both, somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes depending upon your hardware. So for the installation itself, this one is basically Thai again. Ubuntu's process is slightly more current and broader in hardware reach, but Zorin's added layout steps gives it a small head start on first impressions. This is where the two properly split apart because helping people migrate off Windows or macOS is Zorin's entire reason for existing. Zorin appearance lets you flip the whole desktop layout in one click. Windows style taskbar and start menu, macOS style dock and top bar, a compact layout and a few more besides. Ubuntu by comparison ships with a single stock GNOME layout or dock and activities overview and a top bar. It's clean and modern, but it doesn't try to imitate anything you are coming from. Then the Zorin's Windows app database now covering over 240 apps as of 18.1. Double click a Windows installer and Zorin recognizes it, then points you to a native Linux alternative instead of just failing quietly. Ubuntu has nothing built in for this. If you click a .exe file, nothing meaningful happens and you're expected to already know your way around the Linux software world. For the apps that generally need Windows, Zorin bundles with wine and bottles as ready-to-go Windows app support tool, fully configured out of the box. On Ubuntu, the same underlying technology is available, but you are installing and setting up wine or bottles yourself from scratch with no guided experience at all. This category isn't closed. Zorin is purpose-built for switchers and Ubuntu simply isn't trying to be clear win for Zorin. Both run on GNOME, but they present it very differently, and this is also where the version gap between them actually matters. Ubuntu 26.04 ships GNOME 50, the newest release of the desktop environment, and it's a big jump. SDR, color management, group notifications, a fully Wayland-based session with X11 support dropped entirely, and a refreshed Yarrow theme that is moved closer to upstream GNOME's own look. It's a fast, current, and increasingly polished experience straight out of the box, with new default apps like the Resources System Monitor and the Showtime video player. Zorin, meanwhile, is still riding on GNOME 46.7 under the hood, since 18.1 is based on the Ubuntu 24.04 LTS line rather than 26.04. But Zorin more than makes up for the version gap with customization, 27 separate GNOME extensions laid on top, smooth window tiling with multiple layout options, the ability to group related windows and bring them forward together, and level of visual cohesion across icons, panels and notifications that still feels a step above stock GNOME, even an updated one. On customization specifically, Zorin's Appearance app puts themes, layouts, taskbar position and icon styles in one unified panel, which is friendlier for a beginner than digging through GNOME settings and extensions separately the way you would do on Ubuntu. So it splits. Ubuntu wins on having newest, most modern GNOME experience available today, while Zorin wins on the depth of customization and out-of-the-box visual polish. Call this one a tie, with each side winning for a different kind of user. Since Zorin is built directly from Ubuntu's repositories, software availability is identical between them. Anything you can install on one, you can install on the other. Both supports apt, snap and flatpak, and both can run app images. Where they differ now is the software center itself. Ubuntu 26.04 introduces a genuinely new unified App Center with improved support for Debian packages alongside snaps, aiming for one cohesive place to manage everything instead of juggling formats. It's a meaningful upgrade over previous Ubuntu software centers. Zorin's software experience still leans on its curated, guided philosophy, categorized browsing plus the Windows app detection and alternative suggestion system we covered earlier, so even without opening the store, you are often nudged toward the right native app automatically. Package management under the hood is identical since both uses apt with the same core tools, so terminal users won't notice any difference in commands or behavior either way. This one is a genuine once again. Ubuntu's new App Center is a real step forward for format unification, while Zorin's strength is still steering beginners towards the right choice without them having to dig. Different philosophies, same result, call it a tie. This is where the version gap really shows up. Ubuntu 26.04 ships Linux kernel 7.0, bringing broader hardware compatibility, better I/O performance, and optimized for the newest processors, including NPU support for recent Intel chips. It also officially supports ARM64 desktop now, opening the door to a category of hardware Ubuntu simply didn't cover before. Zorin 18.1 picks up a newer kernel through Ubuntu's hardware enablement stack too, landing on kernel 6.17, which is a solid improvement over its best release, but it's still a step behind what Ubuntu ships natively on 26.04. For brand new hardware, especially recent laptops and unusual configurations, Ubuntu currently has the edge simply by being closer to the bleeding edge. Win for Ubuntu here. Your hardware really decides this one, so let's break it down properly. Ubuntu 26.04's official minimum requirements have now actually gone up. Canonical now recommends 6 GB of RAM and 25 GB of disk space, reflecting GNOME 50's heavier footprint and the fully Wayland base station. That's a meaningful jump from previous LTS releases, and it means Ubuntu is increasingly aimed at reasonable modern hardware rather than older machines. Zorin is still built on the Ubuntu 24.04 base with GNOME 46.7, tends to run a bit lighter as a result, and its light edition built on XFCE especially for older machine remains a generally solid option for hardware that would struggle with a full modern GNOME session. If you have got something several years old sitting in a drawer, Zorin currently has the more comfortable answer. On modern current generation hardware, Ubuntu 26.04 pulls ahead. The updated kernel, Wayland-only session, and fractional scaling improvements aimed at reducing blur on HIDPI screens all add up to a desktop that takes fuller advantage of newer hardware than Zorin currently can, simply because Zorin hasn't rebased onto 26.04 yet. So practically speaking, older or lower spec machine lean Zorin, especially the light edition. Modern capable hardware, Ubuntu currently has the sharper, more optimized experience. Slight overall edge to Ubuntu given where most new installs are happening, but it's close enough that your hardware should really make the call. Both support Steam, Lutris, and Proton. Since Zorin's foundation is Ubuntu, the underlying graphics drivers and kernel level support are extremely close, but Ubuntu 26.04 has a genuine new advantage here. Kernel 7.0 includes the anti-sync driver, which improves Windows game performance running through Wine and Proton, and that benefit lands on Ubuntu first before it eventually filters down to Zorin's next rebase. Zorin still keeps its convenience edge though. Gaming tools tend to be easier to find and get running quickly out of the box, and Zorin's overall first boot experience is geared toward feeling complete faster without much digging required. Ubuntu's App Center is closing that gap, but you are still generally installing and configuring in Steam yourself, either way on both. On Multimedia, both handle audio and video very well with common codecs available immediately or one click away, and modern audio systems handling Bluetooth and low latency use cases without issue. Ubuntu 26.04 also updates GStreamer to version 1.28 under the hood, keeping its multimedia stack current. This category is closed, but Ubuntu's new anti-sync driver gives it a real technical edge for gaming specifically, even if Zorin still feels a touch more convenient to set up. Slight win for Ubuntu. Ubuntu is the standard everyone else, including Zorin, ultimately measures themselves against here, as an LTS release 26.04 gets 5 years of standard support and up to 10 years under Ubuntu Pro, and updates come straightforward canonical with no extra layer or delay in between. If you want to be first in line for security patches and new hardware enablement stacks, Ubuntu is always going to get them before Zorin does. Zorin follows its own release when ready policy and repasses onto a new Ubuntu LTS roughly every 2 years, which means it's currently a cycle behind on 26.04's newest under the hood improvements. Even while it continues receiving regular updates and security patches on its current base through June 2029, the gap can matter, especially if you want the newest kernel or GNOME's version the moment it's available. For sheer proximity to the source and speed of updates, this one goes to Ubuntu. Last category is security, privacy, and who's got your back when something goes wrong. On privacy, Ubuntu 26.04 now gives you finer grained control than before, with graphical settings to manage Ubuntu insights, consent, and preview exactly what gets reported, plus App Armor now prompting you for permissions when Snap apps want to access to things like your camera or files. Zorin inherits the same privacy posture as its Ubuntu base, though it's had some past chatter online about a ping sent on boot, worth knowing, though nowhere near the scale of mainstream commercial telemetry. On community support, Ubuntu wins by a wide margin. It's backed directly by Canonical. It's the most widely used desktop Linux distribution on the planet, and its documentation, forums, and third-party tutorials are effectively bottomless. If you hit a problem, someone has almost certainly solved it in public. Zorin's community is smaller and more focused, still genuinely helpful, but you are relying on a much smaller pool of people and a company, not a foundation behind it. So let's bring it all together. If you want the newest kernel, the newest GNOME, official ARM64 support, and the biggest community and documentation base backing you up, go with Ubuntu. If you want a desktop that is specifically built to ease you off Windows or macOS with layouts, app detection, and Windows app support baked in from the first boot, go with Zorin OS. There's no wrong answer here, and remember, Zorin is quite literally standing on Ubuntu's shoulders, so even choosing Zorin is choosing Ubuntu, just with a different coat of paint. The best way to know for sure is still to boot either one from a USB stick and try it yourself before committing. That's it for today's comparison. I read every single comment, so let me know down below which one you are leaning toward or you are already using. I would generally love to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.